Hey everybody, Sick Boy here. The podcast episode has not started yet, but I did want to preface this episode that it is without a doubt our most scuffed episode. We had technical difficulties with our guest with his microphone. At some point in the recording, I lost power, so we lost some footage. So this one's going to be a little bit of a more difficult episode to handle. I tried to edit it to the best that I could, make it sound as good as I could, and yeah, just know going into it, this is super scuffed. Hopefully, you guys still enjoy it, and we will see you in the next one. I'll see you later. Bye. Hey everybody, welcome. I can't even do it seriously. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Barely Noticed podcast. We were just 20 minutes into a recording with our second guest on the channel, Cameron Arteman, and me and Crawdaddy live in the same town, and it is a thunderstorm and the power went out. So there's 22 minutes down the drain, file got corrupted, it's all gone. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think any of us feel like repeating any of that. So, dude, that sucks so bad. I'm here with my co-host, Crawdaddy.
Yo.
What? Wait, Tyler, do it again. You said it and it was like a robot. It was like, yeah. I'm here with my co-host, Crawdaddy.
Yo.
There we go. You know when you talk and like Discord lags and it's like a robot and it's like it did that.
Yeah.
And then this is so scuffed. And then our guest for this evening's podcast episode, Cameron Arteman.
What's up, everyone?
Oh my gosh. How do you make up all that's lost?
How do you do?
Well, anyway, I'll give you a brief glance over at what happened earlier. Cameron went to the film production school that I went to in Florida. We were roommates in the house that we've spoken about in the Florida is a GTA server podcast episode. Cameron is incredibly musically gifted, super good at playing instruments. He's working on content now that he's been graduated from school. He does music videos for some people, music videos for himself. He does editing for a YouTube channel now. What's that channel's name, Cameron?
Kylanier.
What is it?
Kylanier.
Kylanier with a K?
Yeah, so it's Kai and then Lanier.
Okay, so he does editing for a... Oh, there we go. You put it in the chat. Oh, it's a person's name. It's just not one name. Kai Lanier. Gotcha. He does editing. He does some projects on the side. Me and Crawdaddy are video game funny moment YouTube creators, but Cameron actually creates. He's got lots of music on his Spotify account and his SoundCloud account. Do you put music on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on all platforms. So Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube. If it streams music, it's going to have it.
What's it under? Is it just your name?
Yeah, it's just under my name.
Just Cameron Arteman. Okay, I'll make sure I'll put the links to everything in our description. But that's what we gone over earlier, how he's super musically gifted, and we're all jealous because he's great. And then we were sharing stories about when him and I lived in the house, dealing with roommates who were a problem. We kind of touched back on like the paranormal weird stuff that would happen in the house when we were all living there and stuff. And Cameron was just telling the story. The garage used to be connected to the house by a laundry room, and it was kind of out on its own, and Cameron and one of our other roommates, Clay, made the garage into their like bedroom, I guess, or it was like Clay's and then it was Cameron's, or they kind of shared it together. But the garage had like a TV out there, and they had their Xboxes out there, and all of his guitar and keyboard equipment and amps and everything was out in the garage. There was a refrigerator. It was essentially another room, and it was way bigger than the bedrooms that everybody else had. So Cameron was just telling the story about one of his roommates. Do you want to tell that story again, Cameron, or we want to just move on?
So yeah, essentially one of my roommates after Christian left defiled my sacred place by having intercourse with one of my friends on the couch that I would play my Xbox and also guitar on.
Defiled it. That was so. Looking back on it, when we were there, I absolutely hated it there. I didn't like living in Florida. I didn't enjoy it. Cameron came along. We became really good friends. We got along super well. And when Cameron and I were there together with the other roommates before like the new batch of people came in, it was a really like wholesome, good time. Like we'd make dinner together. We'd hang out all the time. Cameron and I will never forget this evening, and it maybe it's just me being uh, gay and emotional, but there was an evening. First of all, the best sunsets I've ever seen in my life were in Florida. Beautiful, like such great sunsets. But there was an evening where, like, I don't know if you remember this, Cameron. Him and I went out to eat somewhere together. Like, it was just the two of us. And we were just driving in my car, and we had the windows down, and we were listening to like rock and roll music together. Cameron got me like super heavy into rock and roll, by the way. And do you remember when we had dinner? We were just out driving in Florida, and then we went to that record store together.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, that was like one of the most perfect, like, people have evenings where they remember things, or very specific memories of stuff that happened. It sounds like nothing because you guys weren't there, and I'm not doing a very good job of describing it. But like, when you think of, I'm sure when Crawdaddy thinks of me, and we've been friends for 15 years, there's memories and stuff that he thinks of, stuff with your parents or your other friends or whatever. It was towards the end of the time, and it was kind of sad because I was leaving before Cameron was, and he still had a few months left. But we had this evening before we left where it was just the two of us, and we went out to eat together. And like I said, he got me super into rock and roll, and we were just becoming like such good friends. I mean, we still are, but we live in different places now and things like that. But we were driving, and like, it's like that. It's not super hot, but it's like that evening where it's warm outside, and we had the windows down. The sunset's crazy. We went to like this rock and roll record shop, and we used to go in there and look at the records, and it was that is an evening I will not forget. And we had some pretty good times at the house. I think, was it your birthday when we went and played wiffle ball out in the street?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, we were like, it was that fun time when you're just like in college or in school and you're just spontaneous and you do whatever. I mean, it was your birthday, and we were just kind of sitting around. We're like, well, Cameron, what do you want to do for your birthday? He was like, I want to play wiffle ball. And we drove out to this Dick's Sporting Goods that was, I swear, like another state away. It was so far away. And we went and got wiffle balls and the bat and everything. And we got some people from school and people at the house. And everybody just went out in the street like we were like 8 years old again. And we were playing wiffle ball out in the street. It was just like, I think it's because it's one of those things when people go to college or when you're in the military or when you go somewhere that you're not used to, and everybody there is in the same boat as you. Like, nobody's from there. It's a new experience for everybody. All the people there, like, mold together because you all just count on one another. Your family isn't there. Your old friends aren't there. So the time that we had at the house was like so wholesome, and like, I mean, obviously there were bad moments, which we've discussed, but just everybody like embracing each other and having a good time, and like it became like a family to a degree. Were there some roommates that annoyed you and did stupid stuff? Absolutely. I'm sure there were times I pissed Cameron off. I'm sure there were times that Cameron's pissed me off. But it was just like toward those last months, I don't know what it was about those last months. Maybe it was like the security of knowing that I was going to be leaving because I was so excited to leave. But it was a really good time. What memories do you have, Cameron, of just like, do you have any where you're like, man, that was a good time?
Probably going to that park in the neighborhood, and I mean, it was obviously a good time, and Marissa did cut her hand that one time, but it was still kind of fun playing pickleball ball there and basketball, inviting everybody out to this random neighborhood.
There was this random neighborhood like a few miles away, and they had like a volleyball court and a basketball court and a pickleball court. And me, Cameron, and other friends from the school and stuff, I would just invite like a ton of people, and whoever showed up, and we go out there and play sports together and hang out and stuff. Those are pretty good times. There was a time your dad came and visited from Arizona, and we were like, what are we gonna do to like show your dad around or get him to do something cool? And for those of you who don't know, the biggest McDonald's in the world is in Orlando. So I got off of work from this restaurant I worked at like 9:30, came home. Cameron's dad was there with him, and they were hanging out. And I was like, Mr. Arteman, you ever? Oh, I don't want to dox you and say your. Oh no, I already said your last name. Never mind. Um, I was like, Mr. Arteman, you ever been to the biggest McDonald's in the world? And he was like, no. And I was like, okay, we're going. And we just got in the car at like 9:30 and went to the biggest McDonald's in the world with your dad. That was so funny.
We also went to Cheddar's too, if I remember correctly.
With your dad?
Yeah, it was like same thing where you came off work super late and then we drove like 45 minutes south just to go to Cheddar's.
Oh, I don't remember us going to Cheddar's with him. I remember us going to that McDonald's though, and he was like so bewildered by the fact that you could get a pizza at that McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. And then the what's his name? The Moon Man guy that's up there playing the piano, the animatronic guy. Tyler, have you had any like experiences with your roommates where they've just driven you crazy or you can't stand them or anything?
Not too bad. I'd say probably one is like he isn't coming back this time because he's commuting now. But like every once in a while, he'll just do like a random scream, and it's funny for a little bit. And then when you're working on something, it gets a little annoying. But besides that, nothing really.
He just
They're pretty
like
tame.
for no reason at all just yells.
Yeah, but it is like a blood curdling, like someone is getting murdered in the living room scream.
No one's ever like called for the police to come check on your apartment or something.
We've gotten a few knocks, like warning knocks.
That's funny. I had a so I shared a room with a guy named Julio, and this is kind of a grosser story, but Julio was like we didn't really a lot. Talks a lot. What am I saying? We didn't really talk a lot, but we were just amicable and like got along. And we had like a did someone just fart? What was that sound?
Yeah, I heard that.
What was
Go over
that?
It was probably my headset. I just moved my microphone.
It sounded like the
like
creamiest
wet,
wet
bro.
fart, dude.
I don't know what that was.
But anyway, Julio and I had our own bathroom, and we were both like super, super clean, which was great to have him as a roommate because our room was always nice. It smelled good. The bathroom was always super good, except for one thing Julio used to do is so I worked at a pizza place for a long time, and then I worked at a restaurant, like a fast food restaurant, and both of them are very fast-paced environments. And then you live in Florida, so when you have to go outside or you're getting back and forth in your car or whatever, you're hot, you're sweaty, you're gross, you smell like fast food. So I'd get home and just be like, oh, thank the Lord I could take a shower. Like, it was just ugh, it was so gross. By the end of the day, it was disgusting. So I'd get home, go to get in the shower, and I'd be taking a shower, and like the water and the soap and everything isn't going down the drain.
Oh no,
And
I know where this is going.
Tyler knows where I'm going with it. And one time, like, I was just like, okay, well, maybe the drain clogs or whatever. And like, I just didn't really pay much attention to it. So then one night I get home, the water's not going down. I'm in like water up to my ankles. I'm like, okay, this is like, what's going on here? I go and look in the drain, and Julio used to masturbate in the shower, and he would clog the drain with his cum, and the water wouldn't go down the drain.
Bro,
Oh,
what is in his
I don't.
testes, bro? What the
Well, who does that when you have a roommate and you guys share a shower? If you're gonna do it, like clean it up. And that was like,
How is it clogging? How
I
how
don't
thick is it?
know. I don't know, dude. It was like it was so gross. And I remember I think I texted Tyler, or it was a group chat, and I was like, "Do you guys want to see the cum in my roommate's shower drain?" And then Tyler answered back no, and then I just sent him a picture of it anyway. Oh, it was so funny. I mean, it was terrible, but it was funny.
I gotta find this picture now.
No, it's okay. You don't have
I'm
to.
gonna go find
I'd
it.
rather not see it.
If you can find it, put it in Discord so Cameron can see it.
No, I don't want to see it. I've seen it once and that was enough for me.
And then there was another time when I got home really late and I had a record player in my room, and I didn't want anybody else to use it because it was really nice. My dad got it for me and I didn't want anybody to ruin it. And I guess Julio got like super high one night on edibles, and then just went and was using my record player, and I was like worried he was gonna mess it up and stuff. So I get home, he has like a Beatles record on my thing, and I like take it off, and I didn't realize that he was in the room. He was like very short and skinny, and he was rolled up under this big comforter in his bed, and I didn't even realize that he was in the room, but he was so high on edibles, he was just like knocked out. So I go in there, I look at the record on the record player, and I'm just talking out loud to myself, and I was like, I don't like that. And I picked up the record, took it off, like threw it on the bed. And then JID, the rapper, JID, Jid, had just come out with a new song at the time. So I was playing it on my phone on like repeat over and over, listening to it. And I had it full volume. I'm walking around the room. I'm being loud, but not loud to the other roommates, but for my bedroom because I didn't think anybody else was in there. And then I'm like walking around the room naked. I don't have any clothes on. I'm like about to get in the shower and stuff. So then I get out of the shower and I'm like drying off and I put my clothes on and stuff like that. And then Julio looks like one of those hot dogs on like the gas station roller, and he just like rolls over like 180, just slides, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, dude, I didn't even know you were there." Blah 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 blah. So Julio almost saw my private parts. I had no idea he was there. I was just walking around the room naked, and he was just high as balls on edibles, and he used my record player without asking me, so that made me upset. Between that
He
and
knew what he
him,
was doing.
between that and him clogging the drain, I was not a happy camper with him at the time. But
I can't find it.
I will say, of all the people who had roommates in the house, I had the best one. You didn't really have one, Cameron, right? Because you had your own room for a long time.
Yeah, and then when I moved out, I moved into another apartment with my roommate or classmate, and it was just a two bed.
Oh, I didn't know that you moved out of the house, but you were still going to the school.
Yeah, and I actually have a funny story that kind of relates to that. I remember I left to go to school and then I forgot my hard drive and he was running late. And I guess he was making coffee butt ass naked in the kitchen, and I
Oh,
opened the door and he's like, "What are you doing? You're supposed to be at school." And I was like, "You're supposed to be at school too." And then I grabbed my hard drive and just walked out. And
oh
then
my
it was just very
gosh.
awkward for like 3 days after that.
Who was your? I mean, I guess nobody else will know, but who who was the roommate?
One of my classmates, Ben.
Okay, yeah, I don't know him.
Yeah, it was a little bit after your time.
The house in
Yeah, you out of the loop, dog.
do what?
You out of the loop now.
I know. I didn't know all this crazy stuff happened after I left. There's never a dull moment from living in that house. There's a lot of crazy stuff that happened in there, but it was such like college bro lit. Like you and Clay would go in the garage. Didn't you have like a projector and you guys would play like Call of Duty together and stuff like that?
Yeah, yeah,
You still talk to him at all or no?
yeah. Actually, it's more just on like Snapchat and Instagram. We don't usually call or anything, but
Yeah.
we're trying to plan a thing where we go to every college football game during the season in Florida, and we're gonna do like a road trip and do it.
Ah, that could be fun.
Yeah.
So do you like it there? Like, do you think you want to keep living in Florida, or what? You feel like you want to leave, or how do you feel about it?
I mean, I like it. I just need to find a place for myself and also, you know, a job that's closer. And then I'll probably see how I feel about that. And if I don't like it, I'll probably just head back on over to Arizona.
Because you're well, where would you say that you're from? Because you're also from Chicago, but then you're from like Arizona. Like you've lived in Arizona and Chicago.
Okay. So when I was born in Chicago, lived there until I was about 6 years old, moved back or moved to Florida for like 2 years, moved back to Chicago for 2 years, and then moved back to Florida for 2 years, moved back to Chicago, and then around 2015, uh, we went to go visit my grandma on our way to California because we had a layover in Phoenix, and then she unsuddenly just passed away, and she had all these animals. She lived on a ranch. We were like, we don't know what to do. Like somebody has to take care of these animals, so we had to stay in Arizona. And I've been there since 2022, and then I moved to Orlando, and then now I'm up in Jacksonville.
And how are you enjoying Jacksonville?
It's really fun so far. I have a lot of good friends up here now. I mean, this is where I lived when I was younger, so I still have friends from when I was younger still here, and I still talk to. So
When I
it's nice.
when I came to visit you that one time when I was taking a road trip down to go see my dad, I like that area. That's a nice like you're kind of out away. You're not in like in the city. You're kind of out away from people. It's a nice spot.
Yeah, it's very off the grid. The only problem is like it's so far from everything, honestly.
It is,
Because
yeah.
even though I'm technically like geographically in Jacksonville, it's not Jacksonville. So Jacksonville is like an hour away from me, and I've been doing a lot of work up there, so I've been driving that pretty much every night. And yeah.
So enough reminiscing of older times. I'm very interested to hear what you have to say about it. Wasn't that freaking crazy that Trump almost got killed? What was that? Yesterday? 2 days ago?
2 days ago.
2 days ago now?
Yeah. It was crazy because I was at my friend's house and we were just kind of making music in Orlando, and my friend he like looks down at his phone, my other friend, and he looks back up and he just goes, Trump got shot, with no explanation or anything. And I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? And then I looked it up and stuff. My mom sent me like news articles, and he did in fact get shot in the ear. But I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. 100 yards with a AR-15, I could do better.
That's what I was talking to Tyler about. Is like
He whiffed, bro.
yeah,
He whiffed so bad.
I'm not saying I hope he got shot or anything. Absolutely not. It's a great, it's awful that the whole thing even happened. But even
Yeah.
like from that far away with a rifle like that, come on now. Come on now.
Had plenty of time to set up, get his shot right.
The whole thing is sad, obviously, the fact that someone even shot at him, and then the dude in the background who died, who's just attending the thing and just gets shot. It's like super sad. The whole thing sucks. I will say though, if there is to be a silver lining in the entire thing, so it's not funny. The whole thing's not funny. I'm glad he's safe. I'm glad he didn't get killed, all of it. But the funny thing that happened is the Secret Service jump on him. They're covering him. They stand him back up. And as you know, Cameron, being a musical guy, going to the audiovisual school with me, that microphone up there, you could be standing your mouth 2 inches from it, but if your mouth isn't aiming towards it, it's not going to pick up anything. Like you have to be facing the direction. So he's got blood on his face, his hair is all messed up, and he's turning his head and he's talking at the same time. And you just hear him go, I lost my shoe, out of everything that happened. And it's like you almost got domed on a stage in Butler, Pennsylvania, and he's like bloody and his hair's a mess. Just I lost my shoe, and like one of the Secret Service members has to grab his shoe and stuff. It's just,
Please get my shoe.
Somebody please get my shoe. That's just the one silver lining to the whole thing. And then of course, like Tyler and I were talking about it today, all the pictures of him are going to be future album covers of him putting his fist up and like his face being bloody and stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah, we're quite literally living in US history right now.
I know, like
That's gonna be infamous.
our parents and stuff are they're like, oh, I remember where I was when 9/11 happened and blah 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 blah. This is like, I mean, I'm sure there's other things, but I just can't think of them at the moment. This is the thing for me where it's like, I will always remember where I was when that happened. I just got done playing basketball in the town that Tyler and I live in, and I left my phone in the car, and I went back into the car and I go start playing music. I was playing the new Eminem album, and I looked at it, and the Apple News thing was saying that he got shot, and then my sister texted me as well, and she was like, he got shot or blah blah blah. And then I wouldn't say I raced home, but I got home, quickly enough. And then I was going on YouTube and looking up all the news things about what happened and stuff like that. I'm still like, even a few days afterwards, just in shock of like the whole thing. It's just craziness. Tyler, how did you figure it out?
Mine was memorable. I was driving down a mountain when I see like my dad text me in the corner. He's like, Trump got shot, but he's okay. And I was like, what? And I'm like trying to look what I'm driving, like, because I was in Boone and I was just serpentining down the mountain. I was like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Just ridiculous, dude. And then now there's like, we have a guy that works with Tyler and I who's like very into politics and stuff like that. And he was filling us in about stuff today and like just all the shadiness of apparently I don't know if this is true or not, so don't come here for news, but apparently what are they called? Secret Service agent who shot the shooter, like he wasn't given the clear to do it, but he shot him and killed him anyway, as he should, which is fine. And then apparently that Secret Service agent got fired because he didn't technically follow like command or rules or whatever because he shot even though he wasn't given the go ahead, which is just like it's just
Retarded.
weird. Yeah, it's just weird, dude. It's like all these conspiracy theories coming up now and things like that. I don't think it's anything deeper than just some disgruntled guy who was like, "I hate
Yeah.
Trump," and then tried to shoot him. I don't think it's anything deeper than that. But
Probably just took Catcher in the Rye too literally.
wait, what'd you say?
Probably just took Catcher in the Rye too literally.
Okay. Are you? I'm trying to think of how to phrase this question. So Tyler and I have been talking like almost nonstop about Black Ops 6. Like I have not been excited for a Call of Duty in a long time, especially because they've just released the same one for 3 years in a row. Are you still on like the Call of Duty train? Because like I don't see you playing video games very often anymore. Like, are you? Do you even play anymore? Like, is there anything that you
Yes,
still
I do.
frequent?
I'm actually frequently playing right now, and this is the first game that I actually have kind of stuck to for a while. Is Assassin's Creed Mirage, because it's
Mm.
like the first Assassin's Creed in years to go back to their original formula, and they did it flawlessly. It's so good. But so for Black Ops 6, do you remember the text I sent you like 2 years ago, or not 2 years ago because that's been that long, but like a year ago around this time about it?
No.
I remember I sent you a text around a year ago telling you that I had the this was before there were any like leaks or anything, because Modern Warfare 3 was not out yet, so everybody was more focused on that than Black Ops 6. And I remember texting you something along the lines of, "Oh, I know the new location and stuff for Black Ops 6. It's going to be the Gulf War and they're going to have like all this other shit." And then it actually happened. So, yeah.
I remember that. Did you say you had a friend that worked there or something?
Yes, I actually, in fact, got to play a dummy test level. That was really cool. It was just it kind of looked like one of those old Counter Strike source maps without any textures.
Okay,
It
yeah.
was just like big four gray walls, and there were like bullards and bullards and shit everywhere.
Yeah.
And there was just like AI enemies, and you could choose any gun you want. And you could check them out. You could put any attachment on. And you could just it's pretty much like a gun test, and it was pretty cool. It was just like playing Call of Duty, but nothing too crazy about it except for some movement changes, but that's it.
How did you get to play it? Did he like send it to you somehow or?
Um, I just happened to be at his house, and he's like, "Hey, you want to test this new game I'm working on?" And then it happened to be Call of Duty.
And does he work specifically for Treyarch?
No, he does like 1099 for game studios. So he's worked with Treyarch, Ubisoft, Activision,
Okay.
like Microsoft, stuff like that. I was like trying to get him to do like Rockstar and stuff, and he just didn't like the time crunches and stuff, because I guess he has
Yeah.
people like friends that work there, and they were telling him about the time crunches, and
Yeah.
he kind of wants to take his own time at it, but he's like a world designer,
Okay.
so he like designs maps and stuff, and yeah, he has a game coming out on Steam. It's called Transients. It's literally Ready or Not, but with like imagine it set in the Black Ops 2 universe where it's semi-futuristic.
Okay. That sounds pretty cool. So back to like your Black Ops 6 sort of play test. What were your biggest takeaways from it?
I got to shoot a couple of guns, got to kill a few enemies. The controls weren't there yet when I played it, so I was like really disgruntled and confused, because it was like to add the optics or whatever, it was like a menu that you would pull up, and it was like B or some shit like that, and I just could not remember the controls, but hopefully they fix that.
What was the movement like?
Just like every other Call of Duty, except it was like I don't really know how to explain it. It was like 360, like movement was 360. So for example, like you can dolphin dive forward and shit.
Yeah.
You can now do it backwards.
Right.
Yeah.
That was Tyler and I were talking about it with our friend at work. That's our biggest concern is I feel like the movement and the play of like the speed of play in Modern Warfare 3 is like almost too fast. Or not almost. I think it is too fast. It's like the movement is just so quick and there's so much happening. I hope that it's cool that they're doing like the 360 dolphin diving and stuff like that now, but I don't want it to be like this new thing that's gonna get abused and like the movement's even faster and even I'd like for it to be dumbed down a little bit more, slowed down a little bit more, because right now I just feel like it's like You have to be on methamphetamine to keep up with what's happening.
I mean, I just played a test level and the game was not finished yet, but it just kind of seemed like every other Call of Duty with just updated features that
Okay.
should have been in the game 5, 10 years ago. Like ragdolls are better and stuff now. It's just not like an animation that plays. They actually ragdoll, and depending on where you shoot on the body, they'll like grab it and be like, "Ah, you hit my knee" or whatever, and then they'll fall onto the ground and die.
I did hear
So
about that. Yeah, that's cool.
yeah, there's some cool features, but like I said, it's stuff that they could have done 10 years ago that they didn't. So
Too lazy.
yeah.
For a company with all that money, you'd think. Another thing that I had heard, I actually heard this from Dr. Disrespect because he used to work for Call of Duty. He had like a stream where he was talking about it, where Call of Duty was made on a really old engine, or at least now it's a really old engine, and they just keep updating the engine, like putting a band-aid on it, and it's kind of like spider webbing, like it's just getting bigger and bigger, but it's really fragile. So that's why all the Call of Duties, like, well, not all of them, but the most recent ones, like they have like these huge updates all the time. They crash pretty frequently. There just always seems to be like software issues with them. And if Treyarch or whoever makes the next one, whatever the case is, would just take the time to use a new engine or make a new engine for the game to run, that the game could be so much better, like so much better, run a lot smoother. You could add more features to it and stuff like that, but they're just ride or die on using this same engine that's been around forever. I don't know, I'm pretty sure that's not verbatim of what he said, but I don't know if you had anything to speak to that, if you knew anything more about it.
Yeah, so it's not just Activision that does that. Ubisoft also does that, and they've been using the same engine since Assassin's Creed 1 for the Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah.
So like when you're playing Valhalla or whatever the newest one is that's coming out in November, like it's the same engine from the first game. It's kind of crazy how it
Jeez.
works. They just keep adding onto it, keep expanding it, like you said, and they update the old code because it's a lot cheaper to do that than to just completely start from scratch. Because at that point you're just making a new game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then with GTA and Rockstar, the reason why they take the longest is even though they do use their own physics engine and stuff, the game mechanics and stuff is completely rebuilt from the ground up for that style of gameplay.
It's
Wow.
almost like Rockstar. Every time they publish a game, it's very good when they do that.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Same
Anyways,
with Call of Duty or like Nintendo. Like if they have all this money, people care so much about it. If you told them, "Hey, we're going to take a few years, a year or two, even more, whatever it takes, but we're going to put a lot of money and rebuild this and do something different." I don't think people would be upset about that. If Call of Duty was like, "Hey, we're going to take 4 years off, for 5 years, I don't know, rebuild an engine, do a whole new thing, and we want to make the best Call of Duty we can for you," I don't think people would be against that. I think it would be a pretty overwhelmingly positive response. I mean, that's how it goes for every Rockstar game. Sure, they don't release a game every other year or whatever the case is, but when the new Red Dead or GTA or whatever comes out, it's always, very highly acclaimed, and it ends up being a really good game.
Yeah. And on top of that, they're also not rushing it to get it out for profits. They're rushing it out because they see it as a work of art. Because like I stated earlier before, Activision and Treyarch, they could have added that stuff into like Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, but they chose not to because they wanted to keep the costs low so they could just pump out a new game every year and maximize profits.
Right.
And then with Rockstar, they kind of treat it like an indie company where there's only like 500 employees or whatever worldwide. And, it's super collaborative. They all work together on projects and stuff. And then Activision, it'll be like the Activision studio is working on this one game, and then the Sledgehammer game studio is working on this one game, and then another company that they brought in that only has made a mobile port of a game is working on another game, and then they're working on 3 games at a time, and they'll just release them back to back year after year. Like for example, Black Ops 2 to Infinite Warfare and Black Ops 3, like all of them were made by different studios that didn't collaborate. So the way that they make the storylines for those games is they have each studio to make a level or a campaign mission, and then they will have a story writer come in after the campaign is done to stitch it all together. Before they even have a story together, they already have the campaign done. Their campaign is not usually the best, specifically with Activision's games.
Yeah. Oh, I did not know that. The more you know. Are there any well, I guess it's a two-parter. Are there any games that you're playing other than Assassin's Creed right now that keep you busy?
As of right now, I've been kind of dabbling back into Rockstar games because of GTA 6. I've been playing a lot of LA Noire. If you haven't played that yet, that is a
Oh,
hidden gem that you could probably pick
yeah,
up for like
yeah.
$3 on Steam. Beautiful game.
Yeah, our friend Dylan I remember him talking about that game, that he likes that game a lot. And then are there any games coming out besides Black Ops 6 that you're excited to play? Tyler, what's the name of the one? I know you brought it up, Cameron, but the new Assassin's Creed is in like feudal Japan. What's that one called?
I think it's like Shadows or something like that. I can't remember. It's something along that train of thought.
Is there any other game that you're excited for coming out in the near or distant future?
So it is an Assassin's Creed game, but it's not Shadows. I forgot what it's called. It's like called Hex or something like that, Project Hex, and it's supposed to be like Assassin's Creed with like black magic and stuff in it.
Oh, okay. Interesting twist.
I don't know what year it's set in or anything, but judging from the trailers and stuff, it kind of looks like it's set during the Salem witch trials, which seems kind of cool.
Oh,
That sounds
interesting.
pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that Assassin's Creed, you got anything else?
Trying to think if there's anything that I can think of. I mean GTA 6.
Obviously, yeah.
You still have a while for that. Oh, and also Civ 7, Civilization 7. I'm a huge strategy guy.
Well, you and Tyler can have that conversation.
I don't play Civ, but I play a lot of CK3.
Oh, I tried getting into CK3 and I'm just too stupid for it. To be honest with you.
It's a lot of practice.
I don't know. I can't get into strategy games. Single player games are super hard for me to get into. I just like getting on with the boys and playing something online. Tyler and I growing up, I mean, Tyler, how many hours of after school would you, me, and some friends get on like multiplayer Call of Duty and just play that for, all night? I love that. Like the spontaneity of, who you're going to encounter in the lobby and stuff. Not just Call of Duty, but that's like the biggest example.
A very unhealthy amount of hours are put into that.
Yeah, man.
And Minecraft.
Yeah, Minecraft. Yeah.
Built a whole hide and seek map.
Cameron, we gotta start getting you in some videos. I remember one time we had talked about it. You had texted me or something, and you were like, "Yeah, when you guys start recording more videos and stuff, like get me in on it." And then, I'm sure you just got busy with life because you do your own content stuff. You make your music videos. You edit YouTube for a channel. You have your full-time job that you do. So I'm sure you're just a super busy guy anyway. But if you are still interested in doing that and want to be a part of that, we got to get you in some stuff.
I'm thinking if you guys are free after this, I don't see why not. We could play some Lethal Company because there's a new update that they just released not too long ago.
I would have to reinstall the game, but that does not sound like a bad idea.
They added cars.
What?
Yeah. They added cars and 2 new enemies.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I didn't even know people still played Lethal Company. I thought that was one of those games that was just super popular for like 2 months and then went away.
My friend actually has a fairly popular server on Lethal Company, so that's why I've been getting back into it, because he's been getting back into it. So it's just been kind of on my mind lately.
I'll have to look into that. I have not seen any YouTube videos or anything about it. My recommended of people playing it still. I thought it was like, to be honest with you, I thought it was a dead game. I didn't even know people were still on it. It's more fun to play when you have mods and stuff. Vanilla Lethal Company is kind of boring, and maybe the updates have changed it, but I remember at least the last time I played, gosh, who knows how long that was. It was, if you didn't play it with mods, it was pretty boring, pretty lackluster, as they would say. You're also, aren't you like goated in Phasmophobia?
I used to be, and then they completely changed the game, and now I don't remember anything. They made it a lot harder, honestly.
Yeah, me and Tyler tried to get on with some other YouTube guys that we play with, Wonderwhacked and JGX, and
it was completely different.
Yeah, it was like a whole new game, because I remember you and I had played it maybe a time or two together, Cameron, and then we used to play it with our other friend Dylan quite a bit, and we tried to get back on it, and I was like, this isn't even Phasmo. This is like, it's way different.
had to get on like a computer to get stuff, and it's just I don't know what I was doing.
Weren't you like max
Yeah.
rank in the game or something? Like you had played a ton of it.
Yeah, I was like level 352, and none of it was like modded. And then I had like 20 grand, and then once they switched to the new update, I lost all of that because they reset everybody's progress.
Dang.
Yeah, ridiculous. Do you know what your hours are for that?
Let me check. I got Steam open right now.
Yeah, I've got to see this.
I have 120.3 hours.
Holy cow.
That's not even my most played game.
What's your most played game?
Yeah.
I believe it's Rust. Hold on, let me check. No, it's Rocksmith for 560 hours, and then Payday 2 follows it by 446 hours.
Rocksmith I get because you're a guitarist, and I used to do Rocksmith stuff with you. And for those of you who don't know, Rocksmith is like Guitar Hero, but for your actual guitar. Like you can plug your guitar into the computer, and then you can learn songs playing your guitar like Guitar Hero, but you're actually playing the instrument. And
What's your most played game, Christian?
my most played game, shoot, let me open up Steam here. If I had to guess, probably it's got to be between CS:GO or Terraria. When I was in like elementary school and middle school, I played a stupid amount of Terraria. That's still my all-time favorite game. Love Terraria.
I just meant on like Steam now.
Wait, what?
I just meant like what you can see now on Steam.
Let me see. You got to open it. What is yours? Do you know what yours is?
It says Baldur's Gate, but I know it's CK3 technically because I played on the Xbox Game Pass before that, and I had like 300 hours on that, and I have like 130 on Steam.
I don't even know how to check the hours for your thing. You just go to your library and then
You just click on it. It says the playtime.
playtime. I'm like an old man trying to figure this out. Library, home collections, downloads.
But you just click on it. It just says
You can also do it through your profile. Like if you click on your username on the top and then go to profile and then go into your games list.
Oh.
Yeah.
Here, I'll send a screenshot.
For someone who does YouTube and plays video games pretty often, I am very, very computer illiterate. It's really bad. As of from what I can see right now, it's CS:GO with 63 hours, but I don't believe that.
That's jump change.
No, I had a different account before this Steam account that I had growing up. And if I could find a way to sign into that or figure out what it is, it's got to be Terraria. I have so many.
On this account, you have 93.5 hours in Terraria.
Okay, so that's got to be the most for mine. Oh, yeah, here we go. I finally found it. Jeez, that was embarrassing. Yeah, my top 3, that makes sense. Except for Black Ops 3. That's for PC. It's definitely more on Xbox. For PC, It says 34. On Xbox, it's got to be way more than that. BattleBit's 32. I love BattleBit. And then CS 62, Terraria 93. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm actually re-downloading Black Ops 3 right now as we speak and trying to play it.
But even then, I would still say those Terraria hours are wrong. I wish I could go back and see my my hours for games on my 360 and Xbox One, because that's what I had for a super long time before my PC. I'm sure there's some way you could do it without having to. You can probably log into your Microsoft account or something and figure it out. But I know Tyler's probably got 4,000 hours on Minecraft for the Xbox. And then mine's probably between Black Ops 2 or Minecraft, because back in the day, I played like an ungodly amount of Search and Destroy on Black Ops 2.
What is that download speed?
Yeah, dude, it's actually sticking at 288 right now.
That's crazy.
All right, weird flex, but okay. Okay, we get it.
Dude, when I got Ethernet, it might be doing that too.
Cameron, because you guys can't see it,
wireless connection, bro.
is sending us updates of how quickly his game is installing because he has super good Wi-Fi. Man, when we were living in the house in Orlando, I had Ethernet, and that is one of the happiest times I've ever been in my life.
That router sucked. So whenever you connected to Ethernet, it sped the internet up by like 100 times on the computer.
It was so nice. You made me lose my train of thought, Cameron, because you were talking about your installing your thing. I forgot what I was going to say.
My bad.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to try to get you into more videos and playing stuff. Do you care about CS:GO at all? Like, do you have any interest in that game?
I have no interest in CS:GO.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna make me cry. Those are the videos that get the most views on my channel. I'm gonna start playing that a little bit more. We love CS:GO.
Do Gary's mod trolling videos.
If people even are on that anymore.
I wish
Gary,
I bought this like years ago and just never played it.
my bet for Tyler and I's channels, or at least for mine, I think that once Black Ops 6 comes out, and because there's going to be so many people watching so much of it and stuff like that, I'm willing to bet that's going to be the game that gets either me or us big, putting up content of that. I'm not banking everything on it. I'm not banking my career on it, but I think we'll definitely get some views from that.
It'll be something.
Yeah, for sure. Because you just gotta play like trending games pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know what's trending right now, but I remember
Chain
when
together.
Lethal Company ran around like back in December or whatever. Everybody was playing it and everybody was getting popular because of it.
Yeah.
We missed about like a month.
We did. We had just
Mhm.
missed it. Yeah. That's the thing, though. I don't want to keep spending. I'm not in a position where I can be spending a ton of money on whatever game becomes the next trending game. So it's like CS:GO normally stays pretty popular. Dark and Darker has been popular-ish lately, and those videos I get pretty good views on. And then I tried playing X Defiant, which was a nightmare. I didn't get any views from that. And then our Minecraft, Tyler and I played a few Minecraft videos. Those got some views. But right now it seems like Dark and Darker and CS:GO get me the views. And when BattleBit was popping, I was getting some good views. That's actually my first video back, like when I actually started uploading consistently and I learned how to actually edit videos. That was my biggest video for a long time. Was a BattleBit video, and then now it's a CS:GO video. But
It's like the shittiest CS like you threw together in like an hour.
yeah, for people who don't know the story behind that, the most viewed video on my channel right now is like 580 some views, 583. And I was using Lightworks, which is a free editing software that is like, it gets the job done, but it's not a Premiere, it's not a DaVinci. So I finally got Premiere, and I was able to make like better quality videos off of it and stuff. And I had probably 20 minutes of footage of me and Tyler playing CS:GO, and I just wanted to record something really quick because I was so excited to edit something on Premiere because I can make such a better video out of it. So then I edit the video. I think that video is like 3 minutes long or 4 minutes long. I barely had any footage, and I told Tyler, I was like, I'm just throwing something up. We'll see what happens. I'm not expecting anything from this video. I just want to push something out because I finally got new editing equipment software, and that stupid little video that I didn't think would mean anything has ended up being by far the most watched video on my channel. It's a dumb thumbnail that I made in like 2 seconds. It's a title that I was just like, whatever, put it up, and lo and behold, that's the biggest video on my channel. And that's happened every time, nearly every time I've made a video where I was just like, I know it's not the greatest, but I'll still put it up. And it's that every time I do that, those videos end up being my highest performing videos. I'm surprised you don't get more like in depth with YouTube, Cameron, because I feel like you're a very analytical and meticulous guy that I feel like you would get a high on making videos and editing and trying to get the most views and stuff like that. I could see you falling into that rabbit hole so easily.
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to get into YouTube. I just don't know what I want to create yet. I don't know if I want to do gaming videos or vlogs or whatever, because I kind of like doing Vice style like cinematic vlogs and documentaries, but at the same time, I kind of want to just play video games and make people laugh. So I'm gonna have to find a weird niche for that.
I'm the same way.
We're
Go ahead, Tyler.
we're
Go ahead.
still finding our we're still finding our niche. We like game wise.
Yeah, the gaming, I like making the gaming videos because they're just like silly and fun, and they're fun to edit. I actually enjoy editing, and I'm kind of the same way where it's like I'm kind of to a point where I don't really, not that I don't care, but I'm very open to making different kind of stuff, whether it was vlogging or if it was some kind of sport related channel or gaming or some kind of documentary esque, video essay channel. I just like making stuff. It's fun to do. So Right now, it's the gaming. It could be like, not that I'm gonna say I'm gonna be like him, but it could be like Mr. Beast, where he was making Black Ops 2 videos, and then he started doing vlogging or whatever. For all I know, it could be I start making stupid gaming videos, and I end up becoming a cooking channel or something. I don't know, but it's just fun to do stuff. I just like, I don't know. It's a high, I would say. I was doing it like once or twice a month, and then I set myself the goal for like once a week, and then now having like an upload schedule and like crunch time of editing and stuff like that. And I know I'm not getting a ton of views. I know I don't have a ton of subscribers, but it's still fun. Like I have fun doing it. It's a fun hobby. My point being, Cameron, I could see you being someone who gets into it if you ever really like tried it and gave it the chance.
Might do like franchise mode for sports games, especially for sports that I have I know nothing about, like cricket and stuff.
Oh yeah, going into them blind, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I think I just got a video idea. But getting towards the end of the podcast, Cameron, me and Tyler are going to make this a thing now with all of our guests because we try to keep it to an hour, and we're getting close. We're getting near an hour now. Do you have? It's two questions. Do you have one? Any conspiracy theory or anything that you believe in, and not just something silly, like, is there anything that you're like die hard believe in, or you just think, like it's just enough to kind of pique your curiosity? That's the first question. And then for the second question, besides what you've told us, do you have any like paranormal stories or some kind of weird story where you're like, I'm not sure how this happened, but it happened?
Yes. So the conspiracy theory. Oh man.
And it could be more than one. If you have like five, it's fine.
Okay. I'm gonna go quite fast. Not really, but
Take your
the
time.
CIA definitely killed JFK. That is something that I completely believe in.
Okay.
Another one is Courtney Love definitely killed Kurt Cobain, and also I think Dave Grohl was also in on it. And
You can
and
pull them all
then
out.
Dang.
and then the 9/11 was also a false flag operation committed by our U.S. government. Not to sound crazy or anything, but I do truly believe that it was Al Qaeda and stuff. But at the same time, I believe the CIA was the one that was funding them, and I mean, actually, they were because of the
Yeah.
Cold War.
They
But
were funding them in the
I
80s.
digress. Yeah. So yes, that's why I believe that. And then most recently, I do believe COVID was made in a lab.
I think that's
Oh,
like
that's,
almost
like,
fact now.
guaranteed.
Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
like, yeah.
The Wuhan virus.
China. Okay, so are those your conspiracies?
Yeah, those are my conspiracies
Okay.
that I like die hard believe on.
So explain the Kurt Cobain one, because I don't know much about that.
So it actually dates back to a couple of forum posts, but essentially, the shotgun that Kurt Cobain loaned was the if I remember correctly, was Dave Grohl's shotgun. And then at the same time, Courtney Love is just kind of
Okay, before you go on, who are
How should I
Dave
say
Grohl and Courtney Love? Just to
Okay.
clarify.
Dave Grohl is the drummer of Nirvana. Courtney Love was married to Kurt Cobain at the time, but it was also insanely toxic, like Sid Vicious and Nancy type shit.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Okay, so now we've got
Yeah.
that out of the way, clarifying for anybody who doesn't know. So now continue.
So Courtney Love's dad, huge record producer. He was also in a whole bunch of weird cult shit, like Bohemian Grove and stuff.
Okay.
And I believe there was something that was into play where something happened money wise, and they pretty much just killed him. And that's pretty much it. They pretty much staged it to look like a overdose at first or a suicide at first, and they pumped him with heroin. And he had, if I remember correctly, I don't remember the specific dosage amount, but it was definitely a lot more than what a human could handle, and he would have been dead by then before he even had his hands on the shotgun. Same time, they said that he pulled the trigger with his toe because the shotgun barrel was in his mouth, obviously, but he had his shoes on.
Oh, I did not know this. There was a girl that we went to school with who was in my class as well, who was super into Nirvana and stuff like that, and I never went into detail with her about it, but she said the same thing, where she like wholeheartedly believed that, I don't know if she said Dave Grohl and Kurt Cobain's wife, but that he definitely didn't kill himself. So you're saying that they killed him over money issues?
Yeah,
Okay.
but at the same time, I don't believe Dave Grohl was directly a part of it, but he did still have like lend the shotgun to them.
Okay. Okay. So there's that one, and then do you want to go more in depth on your 9/11 one, or is that just like pretty self-explanatory?
So long story short, back in the 80s, we thought it would be a very good idea to give the Middle East some guns so they can kill some Russians for us. And then it backfired because they're Muslims and they hate Western culture. And then, so they pretty much used our equipment on us for 9/11 and also the Gulf War and all that other fun stuff. That's it.
So you're not saying that the like U.S. government directly was like, "Hey, fly into these towers," but like we gave them weaponry that they then turned back against us, is what you're getting at.
Yes, but at the same time, there was also a lot of sketchy stuff into play. Like, for example, the federal government misplaced $2.3 trillion
Yeah.
last
Yeah, I've heard that.
Tuesday before
Yeah.
9/11. And a lot of people don't usually know this, but the owner of the Twin Towers put out a $600 billion insurance claim for terrorism 6 days before 9/11 at the same time.
Whoa, I've not heard that. Huh. That'll make you think whether it's true or not. That'll make you think. Okay, so those are your conspiracy ones. Tyler, did you have anything you want to add that you haven't said before? Anything that's
Nah, I'm sticking with my JFK one. That's pretty much
your
guaranteed.
JFK one? The last one I spoke about, Mattress Firm, how I think it's a money laundering front and it's not a real company. For this one, my next one that I will share might upset some people. I 100% that Michael Jackson sexually assaulted those kids. Not a doubt in my mind.
Proven?
There's still speculation behind it, and there's still, you can make the argument for either side. I'm telling you, for anybody who's listening, if it's something you're interested in, watch the documentary Leaving Neverland, and you will be convinced. The point of the documentary isn't to convince you. It's very like evenly weighed, just putting facts out. But after you watch it, I still like his music. It has nothing to do with the music and him are two separate things. You have to separate the artist and the craft. But yeah, they picked two boys who were supposedly assaulted by him or abused by him. They interviewed both of the guys at separate times. Didn't tell the guys that they were going to interview each other. And the two dudes have never met in their life, and both of them told the exact same story. So at that point, it's like, come on. So I'll say that as mine for this episode. I have more, but I'll save them for other guests. And then the second question, Cameron, do you have any other paranormal weird stories of stuff that's happened?
Not that I can think of on the top of my head, unfortunately.
Okay, that's fine. Some people, that's why these questions are like super open-ended questions, and I love like the kind of different responses you can get from them. So if you don't have a response, that's okay, because I know I've already spoken about some stuff that happened at the house, and you were there for those, so that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you don't have an answer for the paranormal thing, then I'll give you what is it called? A softball? Like an easy question? Are aliens, yes or no?
Yes.
You think so?
Oh, 100%.
Tyler, I've known you for 15 years. I don't think I've ever even asked you if you believe in aliens.
Depends on what kind. Like, do I think it's a very tricky subject? Is there some weird unidentified flying objects? Of course, but little green men, I don't think. Like, there's obviously extraterrestrial life out and about. That's pretty much. I mean, technically, it's been guaranteed on Mars. They've seen like bacteria tracks of like where almost like a fossil, like within like riverbeds that would have been on Mars like millions of years ago. But I don't know about super intelligent fly from another solar system type.
Yeah, I agree. I think like bacteria and stuff like that. I could maybe get behind that. Even then, I still don't totally believe it, but I could side with that. But like, flying spaceships and stuff, I don't think so.
For me, it's the different route. I think it's like the Starfield type shit. If you guys have ever played that game. They're interdimensional beings that can travel in between worlds. No,
You're fifth dimensional, man.
He just goes like full Alex Jones.
Obama is the Lizard King.
Yeah. Okay, well, Oh,
No, I
go
just
ahead.
believe that there's bacteria. That's it.
Okay, I think we're all on the same page then. That's fair. So with those fun ending questions out of the way, that is the end of our podcast. So thank you, Cameron, for spending some time with us, even more than you really needed to because the power went out and we had to go for a little bit longer than we thought. But I also love you'll if you listen to this, which I mean I don't think you will, which is fine because you said you're not a podcast person. But if you were to listen back to this, you sound like someone calling in on the Howard Stern show. Like you, dude, it's literally so fun. I'll have to like clip like a short bit of it and send it to you or something. It's so funny. So it's been fun to have a podcast that sounds like me and
We're
Tyler.
calling in.
Yeah, like we're in a
How
studio
you
and you're
doing,
calling
Howard?
in. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So anyway, thank you for stopping by.
Of
Uh
course.
next I don't think the next episode we're gonna have somebody. It'll just be back to me and Crawdaddy, and then two Mondays from now, because we record these on Mondays, we'll have another YouTube gaming guy who's gonna start hanging out with us a little bit more. You guys will get to meet him. He's a really cool guy. So thank you for listening to the Barely Noticed podcast, and we will see you next time. See you.
Later.